No, no.
She's here for the.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. We're going to get started. I'm going to call the Auburn School Committee meeting of November 6, 2024 to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll start down here on my right with introductions.
Dan Poisson, Ward 5.
Quinn Gormley, Ward 4.
Corin McGuigan, Ward 1.
Pam Hart, Ward 2.
Pam Albert at large.
Sue Doris, Superintendent.
Pat Gaudier, Ward 3.
Jay Rich at large.
Adam Platt, City Council Representative.
Connor Dufour, Student Representative.
Calvin Vincent, Student Representative.
Amanda Kuchar, Business Manager.
All right, thank you everyone for being here. We're going to start tonight with our executive session. I'll entertain a motion to enter executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056A for the purpose of employment of officials, appointees, and employees. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Adam. All those in favor? All right, we will adjourn to the conference room for executive session. I have a motion to re-enter regular session. Corin, can I have a second?
Second.
Pam, all those in favor? All right, we are back in regular session at 6:09. Okay, I'm moving on to our consent agenda, which includes the approval of tonight's agenda, the approval of the minutes of October 16th, 2024, and as well as the approval of the certified contracts, including Val Ackley, interim principal at Edward Little High School, and Mako O'Connell, math teacher at Auburn Middle School. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Pat, Pam, all those in favor? And we are unanimous. Congratulations, Val. Woo! Okay. Moving on, I'm going to now open public comment for anyone who wishes to address the Auburn School Committee this evening. Please keep in mind that public comment is not designed to be a discussion, but rather an opportunity for the school committee to listen. I ask that you maintain civility and respect, keep your comments to 3 minutes or less, and refrain from commenting on any specific school personnel as prohibited by our policy and state and federal privacy laws. When stepping to the podium, please state your name and your affiliation with the Auburn School Department.
Good evening. John Stark. My son goes to Sherwood Heights. I got a couple things I'd like to say and I'll leave. Ma'am, are you the superintendent? I'd appreciate if you call me back. I left a message this afternoon. Now I want to get to the past. I know you know what I'm talking about. I want to show of hands and find out how many of the school board members are present and how many have to be present. How many school board members are there?
As many are sitting around the horseshoe right now.
There's how many school board members are elected?
We have 8.
Okay, I'm going to say this very nicely. I'm not going to argue with you. Every time I come here, you cop an attitude. I'm going to ask you to please listen.
I'm
And
listening.
that's all I'm asking you to do.
I gave you your 3 minutes. Please continue.
Mrs. Doris, I appreciate if you call me. I left a message this afternoon. I want you, Pam, and I want Mr. Poison to submit your resignation. You understand? You used a rule against me that was false. All 8 of you on that school board did. You understand? You created a false rule. Jason Levesque, the former mayor, I have him on video, and all 3 of you went along with it. Not one of you looked into the city charter to see if that was actually a rule, but you still escorted me out with the police. The police are here for a reason, to defend the public, not to babysit the school board. You waste taxpayer money at time and a half to post a police officer. I'm going to tell you the history of the school board. Not one person on the school board has ever been attacked by anybody or anyone at any time. So you're wasting the taxpayers' money, and I wanted to point that out. I'm going to ask you again to submit your resignation, and you, Mr. Poison, because you all voted 7-1 to mask or no remote learning, and you undermined the parents 2 weeks prior on the vote, and I have the proof. Now, I also have representation, and I'll be at the city council meeting, and I'll be presenting all my evidence to the city council. What you did to me was wrong. You violated my constitutional rights. You lied to the public. You undermined the public. And you walked me out of here on a false rule, and I have you on video doing it. And let me remind you, in the city charter, if you know anything about it, because I'll tell you I do. I studied it up and down after I finally got a copy. I have a right to a private investigator, and you're not going to be in charge, and this is the reason I haven't gotten it, because you were involved in it, and you're in charge, and you're not going to investigate yourself. So, ma'am, when you get a chance, I want you to call me, because I have a right to a private investigator to investigate anything nefarious that went on here, and you know I'm right. You can't use a false rule and revise it and reference it from the city charter and walk me out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Starks. Your 3
See
minutes
what-
is up. Thank you, Mr. Starks. Good night, Mr. Starks. We're moving on to our presentation tonight. Do we have a presentation tonight?
We do not.
We do not. So we're now going to move on to our school committee student representatives report. Connor.
Thank you. Tonight I'd like to share some events that have happened through each school in the district. On the TVs, you'll see our EL food drive that the SLC hosts every year. This year, we will be donating everything towards the Androscoggin Humane Society. The other photos are from various schools and events that I will talk about in a few seconds. Over the past few weeks, Washburn has had a family dance, which is a fun and engaging way for families to enjoy the evening with students. They celebrated their second whole school reward by following their Lion Code. The reward was a popcorn bar with lots of toppings. Washburn also engaged in a collaboration with the nutrition department to taste test some buffalo cauliflower and voted on whether they enjoyed it or not. That picture is the bottom right. East Auburn just held their first all-school dance, which was a fun evening for family and friends. NWEA testing has wrapped up, and students will enjoy a surprise assembly tomorrow, and I am not allowed to say any more. Oh, and a little hint, there's a lot of dances. Sherwood has been extremely busy. Their school fundraiser raised over $6,000 for their school parent group. Sherwood Heights also had a very successful dance with over 100 people attending. They also hosted their first annual trunk or treat, which was a huge success with many children participating and lots of families. Tomorrow night, they will host the Family Art Night from 6 to 7:30. This is where families create art pieces together with students. Walton recently had a trunk or treat event, which was a fun and engaging time for families. And later in the month, they will be hosting their annual turkey bingo event. On November 10th, Park Ave's Girls on the Run After School Club will be participating in their 5K. That picture is in the middle, all the way at the top. They have worked extremely hard to build strength and confidence to complete the race. The Auburn Fire Department went to Park Ave to talk with students about fire safety. And Park Ave partnered with Healthy Androscoggin to implement cooking and healthy snacks into students' lives. The fifth graders partake in some cooking classes while the first through third grade partake in the Healthy Snacks event, where they once a month meet to decide on better, more nutritious snacks that they can have. The middle school is celebrating their million-page October winners, who have read 140,000 pages so far. I have not read that many. They also recently voted on their Student Leadership Council representatives and celebrated all who participated. Much like the rest of the schools, they had a dance. Theirs was costume themed for the holiday. They also hosted their annual pumpkin run. At Edward Little tonight, we have the NHS Community Outreach, which is Kids Zone, at all participating schools. AMS is one example. During the parent-teacher conferences, students volunteer their time to watch the children while the parents are in meetings with teachers. Like I said earlier, we're hosting the Animal Food Drive. If anybody in the community would like to donate, we ask that you please drop it off in the office. Winter sports start on 11/18, and we have a drama play next week.
Great, thank you. Anyone have any questions?
What's the name of the drama play?
I knew you were going to ask that.
I think it's Anything Goes. I saw it on one of the screens today in the high school. All right, thank you both. Moving on to our superintendent's report, Dr. Doris.
Thank you, Chairperson Albert. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you about school delays and cancellations. It's that time of year when we anticipate some wintry weather coming our way, and so I just want to review what the procedures are. School may be canceled, and the first 3 canceled days will be traditional snow days that will be made up in June. And beyond the 3 days, we will have remote learning days, and this will be decided the day before, and lunch will be provided on those days. So there will be a breakfast and lunch sign-up available online. If we have a delay, it will be a 2-hour delay, so it'll be a delayed start. And if we have an early dismissal, which is rare, we usually don't dismiss early. We may decide the day before that the weather in the afternoon is not looking good, so we would make the decision the day before, and we would follow the early release schedule, and that is grades K through 6 are dismissed at 1 o'clock, 7 through 12 is 12 o'clock, and afternoon pre-K classes would be canceled. And our notifications will be the same as they have been. Mr. Robinson will be sending out a robocall, and that will go out through text, phone, and email. And we will also post the cancellation or the delay or the early dismissal on all of our local media, our TV channels, some of the radio stations, and of course the school website. And that's it.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Doris? Jay?
How are students able to get the lunch that's provided on those days?
The lunches are, they're delivered the day before.
Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to my chairperson's report. I just wanted to give an update on the Maine School Management Association conference that I attended a couple weeks ago in Augusta. It was a 2-day conference for school board members and superintendents. It was an excellent conference. I went last year as well. I also got to present in my professional capacity on the Maine Integrated Youth Health Survey this year as well. There was a great keynote by, I'm not going to say his name right, but it's Weston Kieschnick, I think. So that was the keynote, which was very engaging. So I generally recommend next year if anyone has interest in going. It's very educational. I attended some great sessions, legal year in review, things like that are, I think, very beneficial for school board members. And I would also like to extend a congratulations to our own Calvin Vincent, who I believe came in 8th in the Class A cross-country state meet this past weekend, and 12th overall, and I believe will be representing EL at regionals. Is that correct?
New England's.
New England's, okay.
Yes.
Yes. So congratulations, Calvin. Okay, moving on to our city council update. Adam.
Thank you. Brief update. I wanted to give you guys an update on the audit review process. Last Monday we met. The superintendent was there, Amanda was there, myself, Dan was not there, sorry. Apologies. The 2 reps from the city council and our citizen representative, Bruce Netto. So we received the information from the audit committee last Monday. Just 2 nights ago, some of us were at the joint workshop with city council and school committee going over the audit. And that's where we're at right now. I believe we have a meeting coming up on November. It's not on our calendar here, but on November 18th, there is another audit review meeting without the presence of city staff, meaning we have the ability to ask some questions that maybe we weren't comfortable asking in the presence of city staff. So what that means is if there's anybody on the school committee, I would encourage you to take a look at that audit slide. I don't know, Superintendent Doris, have we sent that out to the school committee? I know I just got an email from Kelsey to the city council. I don't know if that went out to the school committee.
I don't believe so. I'll make sure that we send that out.
Yeah, it should be something we share. I would encourage everyone to look at it. If you guys have any critical questions that you'd like us to bring up on the 18th, please let me know so we can make sure to ask the auditors any questions that you want us to bring up. And that's it.
Great, thank you. Moving on to committee reports. The curriculum committee met today, right before this meeting, and we also had a facilities advisory meeting on this 30th, 16th and the 30th, and I can just give a brief, quick summary. Basically, on the 30th, we met to discuss to start pulling together our recommendations that we will be presenting to the school committee likely in December about next steps of the facilities advisory committee process and what we think that should look like. So stay tuned for that. You can get a more detailed summary in the minutes that are linked on the agenda. We don't have any old business tonight or any new business tonight. All of our upcoming meetings are listed. Does anyone have any other meetings to add besides the audit review? Yes. Yes, when is the next facilities?
It is.
Yes, so facilities committee is on the 20th at 3 or 3:30? 3:30. Okay. So we'll get that added. Do I have any future agenda items or requests for information? All right. Seeing none, I will now entertain a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 4056D for the purpose of labor contract negotiations between the Auburn School Committee and the Auburn Educational Support Personnel Unit. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Quinn, Corin, all those in favor? We are now in executive session at 6:25. Thank you, everyone.